Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Engineering the Markets. My name is Jared. It is December 20th, 2022. We're looking at approximately the last week and a half of the trading year, and we're kind of seeing more precipitous selling in the stock market. The S&Ps are down approximately, say about 7 to 8% ever since we got the CPI and FOMC reactions. And it feels as if the market is kind of unwinding a lot of progress that was made on this October to November rally. We've come back in by price relative to some of the breakout levels of the October lows. And some of the buy and sell swings, I think, are going to be important for some of the next stage of trading. Obviously, breaking away from the trading range that we were stuck in for a couple of weeks does facilitate the speed of the sell-off. Anytime you have a loss of upper bounds or lower bounds, whether it be to the upside or the downside, that's usually the energy needed to move an asset. Obviously, people are stopping out. There's new bearish intent in the marketplace. And then, of course, the combination of momentum, the idea that a market moving in one direction tends to continue to move in one direction until it hits a force of some type, usually subsequent supports and resistances, along with some potential targets of the party in the appropriate direction. So part of our job is to kind of look for those areas of inflection and see where to kind of consider profit taking, or maybe to reevaluate the exposure that you might have to a particular move. And I kind of see us hitting one of our first downside targets as of yesterday. This is an area of the S&P specifically that we were trading inside of for a majority of October and then leading into the breakout of November. It was actually somewhat well defined in regards to some of the structures of different market theorists. And there were some price definition characteristics that offered opportunistic trade, especially once we got CPI lows in October. That obviously was a catalytic event to start a rally. So we're coming back into this price region. It is once again well defined in regards to we've had trade down here before. We've had highs and lows and behavioral characteristics of a balanced market. And as we are coming back into it, the question then becomes, what is sort of the first response? Usually, if we're coming into the upper bounds of a previous trading range, the first response would be a little bit of covering. And one thing that we might be looking for today, especially if we do see a little bit of settling of some of our oversold stocks, is a marketplace that's more inclined to trade sideways. There are some price regions here that are indicative of sideways trading. You'll notice some of the trading sessions are not necessarily as directionally volatile in this price region for the S&P. And usually that's indicative of a little bit of a hedging region for the marketplace, along with some of the psychological price components around SPY 380. This was not only sort of the high to low trade for the past couple months. This would be essentially where a breakout bull, most of their positions would kind of be in this region. But not only that, but if I was a bear and I was looking to cover out inside of this price range that we broke out from, this is a great extension target. Remember, the idea here is pretty simple. We're really just looking at relative size of ranges, and we're kind of looking to see on breakouts and breakdowns what would be the first doubling or the first expansionary target for the range. And usually you can kind of eyeball this along with actually applying some of the fib high to low extension targets. So as far as edge today, I think things are going to be a little tricky. You know, being bullish in a declining market is usually opportunistic type trading. You have to be positioned well, or maybe scouting some relative lows. And you're really just trying to keep your risk in check, because if the market continues to sell, the idea would be to either step away from the trade or maybe to reevaluate your sizing. You can obviously hold onto a loser for a little bit, so long as the marketplace is not falling apart at low of day. And usually what we've seen the past couple days is this is kind of how the market's been trading into the afternoon. Multiple, I would say, hour-long sessions to the downside, usually indicative of some sort of 5-minute downtrend, and specifically a 15-minute consolidation that usually occurs around lunchtime before seeing another sell swing. Most of our bullish trade is occurring in the afternoon. This can be somewhat explained by bears on the intraday time frame somewhat unwinding their positions. They're kind of just here like we are, and taking off some of the margin risk out of the market. But we can also kind of understand that there are some hedging mechanisms going on, and part of the behavioral characteristic of that is, as price is declining, certain hedging mechanisms are simply buying downside puts. And then, of course, you know, the market makers will directionally hedge that off, because they're the ones selling the puts. They're going to be essentially selling ES futures. If, for example, the market finds a relative low and starts to rally back, some of those puts are taken out of the market. With taking off those puts, the market maker can close their sort of opposite trade. And then, of course, they don't need the ES future contract hedge anymore, so they can buy it back. And it's typically seen in periods of fairly correlated trading, of which I would argue yesterday wasn't necessarily purely correlated, but we had a lot of sort of baskets of representative weakness, especially in information tech and discretionary consumer services as well, actually seeing some of the worst of it in regards to some of the market cap reduction. Stocks like Meta and Alphabet were down pretty significantly. So there's obviously still weakness out there. And with that weakness, I often like to look for divergence. It's easy to say that the SPY is on a decline. You can look at the chart and figure that out yourself. But amidst that downside, are there sectors that are holding up a little bit better? And what we can sort of observe here is that over the past week, which essentially represents from previous CPI to today, about a week's worth of trade, there's obviously been a stronger downside draw to some of the more risk-on type sectors. Technology and communication services are the standouts, but even as you kind of move forward, you'll see real estate, materials, and discretionaries are either in line with the S&P, S&P being down about 5% on a normalized weekly performance. And remember, they are coming off of some of the highs. So a lot of these sector performances also had a bounce characteristic to them, but then they gave back more than what this red percentage would indicate. They're actually high to low down much more, usually in the ballpark of about 10%. And amidst that, there are some standouts here. There are sectors that are down, but they're not down as bad. And usually they're coming from positions of strength. The ones that are kind of highlighted here are staples, a little bit more of a defensive play. But remember, as we enter into 2023, one of the themes to be on the lookout for is what type of consumer staples. It's not necessarily just the big box retailers, which does have a bit of an economic spending component. It's more or less things like packaged goods, things like fast food, and potentially some of the sin stocks, which a couple of them do fall into consumer staples. Energy, which is down about 3.5%, and then healthcare. As we kind of circle down, you'll see things like utilities and financials also a little bit relative strength comparative to the S&P, but we're kind of getting closer to an inline performance. And once again, this is just the week, but it's a pretty important week, simply because there's been a dramatic shift in how the market has performed. So these sector performances are giving us an idea that while there is still bearish characteristics to these sectors, the downside has been less steep. And usually what we've noticed is not only is it less steep, but they're coming off of strength. So these might be opportunities simply to add into positions or possibly to buy certain dips for the next leg of a possible trend. As I've mentioned before, healthcare has been kind of one of my focuses this year. And this is mostly because it's got the characteristic of a possible bull market setting up. Obviously, seeing a rejection at all-time highs, we're losing things like the 20 period. So there is a loss of short-term trend here. And, that's true across the board, no matter where you look. But more so understand that this is a sector that even through its drawdown is still simply trading at price levels that we've been at. It's a bit more of a range characteristic the past year or so. And while this range has held, we are looking for that opportunity for the range to actually expand, of which, of course, we would apply the range expansion rules for a future move in the potential of this actually breaking out. The other one, of course, that was highlighted was consumer staples. And once again, not necessarily trading at all-time highs, but we do have some range characteristics here. The idea is simple. As the market waves from up higher to lower, essentially, highs to lows, noticing areas of risk and areas where maybe the first attempt of the breakout is not necessarily going to come from such an overbought extension. But as the market pulls back, especially to value and these larger VPOCs that are placed in some of these sector ETFs, we want to see what price does. This is kind of the opportunity for a bullish lean if we see VPOC hold, and if the marketplace once again wants to push forward, potentially getting out of these ranges and doing something a little different, a little bit more characteristics of a breakout. Obviously, this is something that takes time, but these are the themes for 2023, and we are simply looking for where those characteristics lie, while also being aware that some of these sectors are bullish on the short term, having some better relative performance within a short-term period, but still highly risky relative to the potential of a change in theme. Once again, energy not necessarily being a standout sector if the economy is entering into a more recessionary period. There are some benefits to things like the crude market, but energy stocks in particular start to diverge from the price dynamics of crude. And more specifically, this was a trade that we had discussed, the idea that not only is this something that diverged from crude over the past couple of trading sessions. Let me get some of this noise off the chart and add back my study. But crude being in the front month, contracts coming in, but energy stocks having diverged from that. And one of the characteristics here was either energy stocks would need to correct to basically start to converge back to the correlation of how crude trades, or we should see both of those markets realigning towards some central price. And at least as of late, crude is still on a characteristic downtrend, but energy stocks are now starting to unwind. Obviously, bounces along the way. It's hard to lose everything from all-time highs or relative highs, but the idea was that there's a lot of risk whenever we first discussed this divergence, and the marketplace is showing some of those characteristics now. But like most things, the market as a whole is down. So identifying where relative strength and weakness is and being on the right side of the trade, along with finding outperformance. That's kind of the goal. It tends to be a little simple when the whole market is selling to just say to be bearish, but sometimes you can actually find outperformance, and targeting things like relative weakness is one way to go about it. You'll notice here something like a tech sector, and we just saw it, on the actual performance thing, sector performance, but technology is down over 10%, while the S&P, for example, has traded high to low about 8%. So there's relative weakness in technology over the past couple of trading sessions, past 5 days. So all this thesis is showcasing itself. The objective is always to kind of have a little bit of sense of this. Sorry about that. Got some loud chinchillas this morning. To know about some of this beforehand, to have a sense of this as it's coming, and then to position accordingly. So one thing I didn't get to talk about yesterday was some of the dynamics that occurred on a particular name last week. I'll briefly talk about that. There is some additional information being sort of distributed online about what occurred with this stock. But all in all, this was an anomaly. So I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of an explanation as to what happened. And just know that this is not necessarily the norm. This is very much an outlier case. So on Friday, there was an event related to this particular ticker. Right now it's listed as Cosmos Health. Before the reverse split was to take place, there was a different name related to this ticker, something along the lines of Cosmos Holdings. So as this was a known event for this particular name, and I don't actually see if I can get the, should be showing the reverse split here, but it might not have. Surprised it's not showing it. Normally it shows the split events. But there was a reverse split incoming for this stock. It was a known 25-to-1 reverse split. So as a reverse split takes a stock's relative price prior to the split, it will go through a process that requires some settlement of shares and an exchange between different brokers to essentially ensure that on the next trading session, for example, if someone had owned this stock prior to the reverse split, coming into the next day, they should have essentially 1/25th the number of shares. So by a multiple of 25 less shares, but of course the price would have in essence appreciated by 25 times. So the net value contained in an account holding shares into a reverse split should still reflect the same value. But the only difference is you own less shares, and those shares should be marked up in price. Now, in order to do this, there is communication and settlement between brokers and the exchange in order to make sure everyone's accounts reflect the accurate value come the next trading session. So there is some coordination that goes on. The issue with this name was that there was also some difficulty with that settlement related to how all stocks and other types of assets, they have a serial identifier, sort of a identification number associated with them. It's referred to as the CUSIP. You can look up what that stands for. I don't actually remember all the acronym, but every stock in the market has one of these values. So anytime there is an exchange or any settlement, oftentimes brokers are not necessarily using the ticker name to communicate. It's part of the attribute of some of the technological backend, but for the most part, they're using a serial number. And this just kind of makes the communication of what asset is being handled a little bit simpler. It's easier to be working in numbers versus letters for some communication protocols. There was an issue with how this particular stock changed into a new name, the Cosmos Health versus Cosmos Holding, along with a mix-up in the actual CUSIP numbers. And due to this, there were some reports of pre-reverse split holdings not necessarily reflecting the accurate value of the post-split changes. So for example, there were some reports of individuals who owned the previous pre-split shares, and on the morning session, they actually had the same number of shares, but the price value of the asset, COSM, the ticker, was reflecting the new post-split price. And that, of course, is a deviation. You're supposed to have both of those adjusted by that time. So that was part of some of the morning volatility, where there was a big disruption in how many shares were actually owned by a client or anyone holding the asset prior. And then, of course, the new value, which was the market price if an individual wished to buy or sell. And obviously, if there's a discrepancy there, you might wake up and see that you still own X number of shares, but the value of those shares has multiplied by 25, the reverse split multiple. So that obviously caused confusion and, of course, maybe some preliminary selling and just destabilization of the pre-market price. Along the way, there was also some remedy of this as brokers were starting to realize the mistakes. A lot of the accounts were starting to settle out a little differently, and the values were being adjusted. But into the opening session, a majority of what we were seeing was new, of course, algorithmic type buying programs applied to a stock that, for all intents and purposes, had a reduction in its float by 25 times. And this is essentially what a reverse split does, so long as there is no additional secondary offering or any sort of shelf offering being applied. As long as the number of shares is the only thing changing, on that settlement, the float is reduced. And usually, if it's significant enough, there can be some second day, or I guess like first day post split volatility, but not to the degree that we saw. I think there were some other factors at play underneath what was going on just in the pre-market session and also into the afternoon session, where for the most part, this was a little bit of a short squeeze. There was a lot of just momentum traders who were repeating the cycle of buying new highs in a stock that continues to reward that sort of risk behavior. And then, of course, you get the classic momentum type trends. There's halting dynamics and some of the order management as you get into some of the extreme price moves. Usually trying to keep the market from halting so that more and more sell orders can sort of facilitate new targets. Usually this is more of like a level 2 assessment, and we were able to watch some of that on Friday. But all in all, the reverse split itself wasn't really the true catalyst. I would say that there was some other factors, of which most of them were anomalous. They shouldn't have happened, and I think I agree with some of the discussions that we had in the chat room. This is something that they probably should have halted pending some sort of broker communication, just clearing out all of the discrepancies between the two different types of CUSIP numbers, along with the difference in naming convention for the stock. So it was an interesting event. I wanted to just kind of outline what I've learned about it so far. Most of this information is kind of coming out as we're learning more about the event itself. And then, of course, there was a secondary offering that came based on the fact that there was such a high markup. This particular company did have the ability to offer some of its shelf offering in the form of a secondary. So I'm not exactly sure specifics on that. I wasn't really tracking it yesterday or in pre-market, but I did hear that we had gotten a secondary offering. I think it was this right here. That was the announcement of it. And then, of course, it sold off for the rest of the day. So this happens in the market. It's important to understand the why. It's also important to understand that there are characteristics of these types of stocks that make traders attracted to them. For one, it's moving. It's moving very quickly. And two, you can make a lot of return very quickly so long as you're able to withstand the volatility of pullbacks and halting along the way. But additionally, just understand that on Friday, there was a lot of momentum trading. So as the price was appreciating, most of those traders were either getting out of the market, just locking in those profits, along with the fact that some of the buy algorithms turn off at the end of the session, which can facilitate some of these after hours declines, especially on a Friday when, we're kind of coming into that weekend session. So it's not to say that this stock deserved to fall that quickly, but the potential for secondary offerings is usually high into some of those rallies, along with the fact that none of those buyers from Friday really want to stay in the market. They're actually looking to just trade as opposed to invest or hold some of the demand that they've I guess sucked away from the stock. So a little bit of an explanation. Obviously, not necessarily in focus anymore, but it's good to understand the anomalies and why they happen, even if you didn't necessarily take advantage of it on Friday. So with all that said, my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Market. Stay tuned for Pre-Market Prep. We'll talk a little bit more tomorrow, kind of round out the year and maybe start discussing 2023 a little bit more in depth and, go into the new year with a fresh mindset. So trade safe. We'll talk more then.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, brother. I'm doing all right. How are you?
Doing good, my
I like these
friend. Doing
lights
good.
behind you. You're getting
I,
fancy, man.
I,
I'm gonna
I'm
have to pick up the game.
I'm just trying to see if we get this Santa Claus rally started anytime soon, man. I'm trying to get the vibes
No, it's
going. I
no.
got the little thing going on over here, my reindeer. You're just
Oh,
trying to.
you might as well just break that. It ain't gonna happen.
I know it is not looking too good, man. I'm trying to keep the hopes up, but it's not looking too good.
Santa Claus called in sick.
You sure did, my friends. Guys, let's take a look at what's
Called in
going on.
broke. You having to spend too much on reindeer feed. It's up
we
35% year over year.
we're going to blame this on Sam. Sam messes up for everybody. He was naughty this year. He killed everybody's hopes here. So we'll see, man. We gotta blame it on somebody. Guys, let's take a look here what we have on yesterday's list. Here's a spy. As we know, Jared was kind of going over this a little bit towards the beginning of the show. So big thumbs up for Jared, engineering the markets every Monday through Thursday. With that said, let's look at some of the stocks we had in play. Again, it was a bloodbath type day yesterday, where things continue to sell off. Look at Baba here, by the way. Very interesting daily. Before I get to the 5 minute. Every day has gapped up, has sold off here, right? So it's trying to go higher, but every time the market opens, we just seen weakness all across the board here. Today, they're very interesting, by the way. We'll talk about that. I'll probably have this on my list again. They're gapping down this time below this level of 87 or so. So definitely like what I'm seeing there. But looking at yesterday's action, you can see how well this traded. Just a beautiful short there. We knew this thing was going to be in play, and the market helped a lot of stocks continue towards the downside. That was Baba. Meta was not clean, guys. Was actually out of all the tickers we had was probably one of the ones that just didn't trade as well. A lot of sideways action. Finally gave in towards the later parts of the day, but took a while to get going. Apple, Tesla, and all these other ones, guys. You can see the sell off here on Apple, hitting 131. What was it? 131. 30, which is again, I mean, just very low prices that we're getting into here on Apple, but very aggressive sell off yesterday. Same thing with a Tesla and other ones. Tesla took a while to get going, didn't happen right away. A very tough morning if you're looking for a continuation play here, like you saw in Apple, Baba, and others. This one gave you a little bit of a tough time, eventually gave in, and look at the nice drop all the way to 146. Can't believe, man. Tesla 146 below 150 here. Did had a pretty aggressive recovery. Amazon had a similar move as well. Not as aggressive as this one, but you can see here hits the VWAP and then pops up and then sells right back down. So a lot of opportunities here, guys. Here's Amazon. Yes, they did try to get going here, but couldn't get above the VWAP, and it just got really weak and sold down some more. So Amazon at 85 this morning. So again, just weakness across the board. You could have looked at. These are just the ones I had on my list. There were tons of other tickers you could have looked at, and you could have had a similar opportunity here. You could also trade some ETFs as well that kind of are leveraged against the market accused. Here is our gappers list this morning. So we got some stuff in the red. We have Neil on here, PDD, which we're very familiar with, XBEF, Billy, and COSM. It was that madness yesterday that was up. I forget the number. It's like 200,000. Is it this one? Am I
What's
confusing
that?
this ticker? COSM.
Don't worry
Uh,
about it.
that's this one that was up huge yesterday, right? If I remember. But it was just a low flow, just nastiness. I think it
No,
was.
that's not the one that was
Oh,
up.
it's not the one that was
That one
up.
was
Okay.
down. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. It was another one that was I know
there was
was
a
up.
biotech.
Yeah, yeah. And then some stuff in the green this morning. We'll take a look at that. But first, guys, let's get to our market pulse and see what's happening there as we get ready for this trading day here.
Yeah, we just had building permits and housing starts come out. I'm not going to throw out the data because I've got two sets of data. One was corrected. I'm not sure what the correct number is, but it looked like it was quite a bit weaker than expected on the permits. Not surprising considering what's been going on with the Federal Reserve, interest rates, and housing market, and everything else, and what loans are going for, mortgages are going for. So anyway, we know there's going to be a slowdown there. As you've mentioned, we've had just a bloodbath for the last week in the markets overall, and some of the big names have been hit really hard, getting to levels we haven't seen in a long time. The Teslas, the Apples, things like that. Apple's been relatively unscathed throughout this year compared to the rest of everything, and they've been starting to get hit. So, um, relatively. Not that they haven't been hit, but compared to a lot of the other stuff. So, yeah, not that when I was joking about the Santa Claus rally, I'm not saying we won't get a bounce or anything to some degree, but I don't see any major event personally transpiring between now and the end of the year. We don't have that much time left, and markets have been a little bit uncharacteristic of this time of year, the way they've traded recently. So, see how that pans out. Bueller.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute there. Yep, absolutely. We'll see how that plays out, guys. I mean, there's a confusion between the Christmas rally. Some people believe it happens before, others after. So who knows? Who knows? Still can take place, right? All right, let's take a look here, guys. Let's remove our stuff from yesterday. Control A, Control X is going to get rid of this. And let me go ahead and link my trade ideas so we can see what's happening with our gappers list this morning. All right, here we go. 1 second, guys. Add link. Forgot to do this here. What did I miss?
They said you were muted for as long as you were because you were playing with your reindeer.
Yes. My daughter is here because my daughter is scared of it. So she's not. When I brought it out, she wasn't too happy about that.
I'm scared of it too.
Yeah. So we have it hostage here in my office. All right, guys. VRNA this morning. This was here. No, something else. This is different. So this is up 32%. Was up all the way to 35. Now down to 18. I don't know what's going on with this, man, but it looks really ugly.
UK biotech, that's why it looks ugly. It's got a phase 3 trial news on a COPD treatment.
Yeah.
UK biotech, those two words together make me want to run.
Absolutely. Run away from this. So not good, guys. We're going to skip on that one 100%. Let's take a look at Lucid. They're up 5% this morning, 814,000. It is an ugly 814,000, by the way. This pre-market action not looking great. Looks like they had something last night going on here. So some kind of news broke out maybe after hours.
Yeah, they raised some money. I think they had a stock sale, which usually isn't great, but they need the cash to get going, to keep things going. So it's seen as a positive in this particular case.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure what to think on this.
I mean, they're beaten down, obviously. Yeah. This is trading at levels that super low compared to what they were a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree 100%. So we'll put them on here as a possible, guys. Let's see where this takes us today. Looks like they might want to hit this high of the pre-market one more time here. If we can start getting a better pre-market activity, the volume is here. Maybe that could be nice. So we'll see. Let's ZIM. No, this looks no volume gapping up here, but looks horrible. We'll move on to the next one. VALE. This is up 2.2. We looked at this plenty of times in the past. I think I might have traded it once or twice. Not the best intraday trading ticker. I'm not seeing anything great this morning either way that will put this on my list. So I'm going to skip on that. Unless, Norm, you have any news that's worth watching this thing?
No, nothing really great. Metal futures are up a bit. That's probably why it's up. I don't see any specific news to Vale, but they're a Brazilian miner. So it's probably just commodity pricing.
Yeah. And again,
Saudi investment, 1.5 billion. Are you talking about Lucid? RFG? I'm guessing he is. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I mentioned, raising money.
Yeah. So there we go. We'll see how that plays out. It's a good catalyst. And they, again, like you said, they've been beat up so much that any type of positive news, we actually could see something good out of these guys, depending how the market is. Positive news is how much the market is going to like it. So that's our gap up list. We got one that slipped in here, ZYME, and it should slip right out
yesterday.
Yeah, because I don't see anything great on this here. All right, let's go over to gapping down this morning. COSM was on our list yesterday. The day before had a huge pop to 23. Now I think it's just back down to its normal trading range. The volume, you could tell yesterday how less it was compared to the day that it was in play. This was Friday, right? This was yesterday, and now I just think you're just back to normal trading activity. Volume is still a little bit higher than usual, but I don't see anything that I like on this at all. I think the fun is definitely over on that one. Look at TAL. This is it's just like EDU, Chinese education company. I'm not a fan of this thing at all. I'm not fond of this at all. So I'm gonna skip on it. Billy right now down 4%, 224. I mean, they're on this list. I like the daily here. They're losing some ground. I like Baba this morning. I'm gonna add that one back to the list. They've been just again other gap ups. The last few days have been selling down nicely, and today they're below this level of support that I like here. So that could be interesting. Volume is very light though compared to what we've seen in the past. But maybe they're tired already of trying to hold this thing up. Maybe there's some downside plays over here like we had yesterday. So I like Baba. You could look at Billy, maybe XBEV and some other ones, but I think Baba will probably be the one I'll keep on deck. You also have Neo here, which tends to get a slightly better volume than most of these other Chinese tickers, which all seem to, not all, but majority are on our gap down list today. Except Lucid. Is Lucid Chinese? Remind me,
No,
Norm. No, it's not, right? No. Okay. So never mind. I thought it was for some reason. I'm confusing it with Lee or some other.
it's because every other EV other than Tesla seems to be, right?
I know at least the
You've
ones that
got
are making all this
Rivian and
noise.
Lucid and Tesla and everything else. There's a million Chinese ones.
Yeah. So Neo here, guys. Again, they don't got great volume. I don't think they're really in play. Maybe a possible if it gets going. But I like Baba because they're right below this level of support. So that'll be the one for me. Here's Netflix. So Netflix got something going on this morning, losing some ground. What's happening there? Well, I'll add this to the list. Looks good right now. Netflix down 2.6, 141,000 shares traded. But man, and again, in relative, right, they have done very well compared to how much they have ran up after this gap down here, all the way down to 175 at 280 now. But we're seeing some downwards movement here. Norm,
Some
any
word
news?
that there's some, they launched their ad supported pricing tier that I think is the word is that the company said they were happy with the results, but analysts have some info that seem to say that it wasn't that great subscriber wise. So
Okay. So yes, that having some effect here. We'll see how that plays out. Again, they were down a couple of times already here, down below 290 now at 288, 281. Let's see if there's any type of continuation. But this looks good, and daily as well. Not bad on Netflix. We just need to get some volume in here. They typically trade light volume when they are not in play. Plus, Baba is not hard to borrow. Yes, Matthew, agree 100%. I like Baba because it's always good to get in and out of this one when it is in play, when it has volume, right? That's the key. So I'm with you there. Norm, anything you like on your end this morning?
No, it's been tough, man. Some people have been saying, it's been tough to trade recently. I mean, Tesla, but I mean, I might as well say I breathe air. I don't know. I mean, it's just obvious.
Yeah.
There's been, it's been tough to find good things. Tesla's been in play every day. But
Yeah.
other than that,
Yeah.
anything that everybody else isn't looking at, no, I don't have anything special.
Yeah. And it's funny because Tesla has been in play. You're absolutely right. I'm not a great Tesla trader, so I tend to look at other stuff that might be in play or moving with with Tesla with the market. But I don't usually. That's not my first go-to stock, right? It's not Tesla, so I find that could be difficult to trade at times. But it is in play and it's been trading very well depending on your trading style. In play again this morning already almost 2 million shares traded so far. So. The volume has just been crazy on this thing. Let's take it to the chat this morning. Let's start here with Christopher. You're giving us Uber. Unless there's any big news, these guys don't do a whole lot. So I don't see anything happening here. Got a couple of big block trades, looks like 4.3 million so far this morning. So, you're not seeing that in the pre-market. Maybe a couple of
There's something about a
transactions.
strike in New York, but that having been said, it trades so poorly intraday that
Yeah. I agree.
except for like one day a year, it might trade well.
Yeah, 100%. Even on earnings, sometimes you could get chopped up. I mean, it's one of these weird type tickers. Let's take a look here. Amazon. Yeah, Amazon was another one that was great yesterday. Could be on the list today. 700,000 shares traded, pretty much flat right now. Again, many things just kind of waiting to see what the overall market is going to do, which we are flat at the moment. But I expect Amazon and Apple to, follow suit on whatever the SPY is going to do. But Amazon was very clean yesterday, so I definitely will want to have that on my list again today. We'll look at West Fargo. How are the banking stocks doing? It looks like something's breaking out here on West Fargo. Is this uniquely to them, or is Bank of America or anything else doing something here? Let's check JP Morgan. Oh, it looks like just West Fargo might have something going on there. So we'll see what's taking place there. We'll put them on here for now. We'll come back to that. It's just developing now. We'll check what the news is. MDGL. This was the craziness from yesterday. Yeah, I'm not watching this, man. This is gambling here. Let's just be very careful. I'm not even going to put it on my list. It's just, again, very, very careful. Let's take a look here. We have Tesla on deck. It's looking very good, guys. We have GIS or GIS.
Yeah.
No. General Mills.
Yeah, that's a Hamish.
That's
Hamish.
Oh, Hamish, yeah.
Hamish is awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't know about trading. I don't know about trading gold. General Mills.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We love him. We love the guy, but this is not going to make the list. But
They
obviously something
morning,
going on.
But it's cereal.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a fine. Wells Fargo has a fine.
What's new? These guys are always
news.
Yeah.
They've been in trouble for as long as I've been alive.
Yeah, there's always something on with West Fargo. Somebody screwed up something, West Fargo has something to do with if it's in the banking sector. I mean, these guys are always into something. So definitely in play right now, down 3.8, 130,000 shares traded right now and climbing, looking pretty good. The market's not liking whatever is happening here. We'll keep that on deck and see how that is going to play out there. So yeah, let's go back to. See, I was hoping that GIS, I was hoping he made a mistake and he meant to do Disney. But no, he meant GIS. So nothing happening there. Disney here, guys. Some of you guys threw this one out, and I don't see a whole lot going on here neither at the moment. Again, big drop yesterday with the overall market moves. And again, eyes on the SPY, guys, eyes on the scanners. I think the market will move in one direction today. Not saying down, but I think we will get some kind of movement, and that's going to create some good opportunities for us as we move forward. If I can type here, so we'll see. A few more VRNA. We looked at this earlier. Was on top of our gap up list. I mean, this thing is just I don't know how you would trade this. High of the pre-market 35. The low is at 15. We're back at 17 now. It is a low. It's not a low flow stock actually. It's 51 million shares float. It's just all over the place. It's going to be very, very wild. I'm going to stay away from it. Depending on your trading style, you might want to watch this. But I just see this being very bad. And the spread, keep a lookout on the spread. I saw 20 cents earlier. It's tight right now, but it can get pretty nasty at times. So be on the lookout for that. Also, Meta key level at 113. Meta. 113. Yes. Yeah, I see a level there. But the previous day close to it's an area, right? So this here, that previous day close, that's going to be important for Meta. We're just flirting with that right now. We're up above and below at the moment. We'll have to see what that does. That's been a very key level since all December. We've been trying to stay above that at least, right? And you got a couple of ranges here that you're looking at, Meta. So again, another sell-off yesterday. Maybe a good possible to have on deck as well if we decide to lose some ground here. We can see what's happening there. All right, let's do two more here, and then we'll take it to our announcements. Ford and Gilead, I'm going to skip because, again, oh, man, Ford, no.
Ford,
no. And then Gilead is another no. All right, you guys are going soft on me here in the chat.
Well, to their defense, they're grasping for straws because the market is the way the market is right now. So
yes, absolutely. This is why we only got four tickers, guys.
People always ask what's trading like around the holidays. Usually it's awesome. This year it's not.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe it'll change.
100%. Yeah. Hopefully it'll change. All right, guys, let's get over to our community events and announcements, and we will come back and fine tune this list. Let's get where's our announcement page. Here we go.
All right. Every Monday night, onboarding technology with Carlos. Note that next Monday, market's closed. It is a federal holiday. So that's going to be on Tuesday instead. We will not have a strategy webinar next Tuesday. Onboarding and technology will be moved to Tuesday, 8 p.m. And then we just skip those, Carlos, because it's a couple weeks till we have strategy and everything else, but we'll get into those. Oh, we'll talk about this week, though. John, tonight, 8 p.m., talking about resetting your trading life. Great way to end the year. Thank you, John. Psychology tomorrow night, we've got Mike. He's going to be talking about the interaction between a trade book and trading psychology. After those two, we take a break on the webinars until the new year. So Thursdays is for mentorship. You've got 11 a.m. with John and 8 p.m. with Thor. Then tradingterminal.com, our one-stop shop. We are improving it daily to try to make it the best place you can go for all the trading information you need for free. Guys, there's tools on here worth thousands of dollars that people pay every month or every year to use. So, but we give them for free. So check that out when you get a chance, tradingterminal.com. If you're watching on Bootcamp, yes, don't forget Bootcamp. We have the redone Bootcamp starting for next year. We've got changed it up. We're going to have live trading 2 days a week in a Zoom meeting format. I think that's one of the bigger changes, where you'll actually be able to talk, share screens with each other, discuss trades, trade opportunities, everything else with a mentor in there. They'll be rotating through. And then we've got building a trade book, how to do that, sessions each week on it. You're going to have personalized one-on-one individual support helping build your trade book, finding what's best for you, weekly group mentoring, trade reviews, as we have had in the past, live trading edge development webinars, dedicated tape reading and level 2 seminars by Thor, and at the end, a post bootcamp continuation plan. Also, the live trading summit, March 2nd and 3rd in San Diego. Be sure to check that out. That's at bearabletraders.com/workshop. You can navigate there from the homepage if you just scroll down past the very top. You'll see it. All right. If you're watching on YouTube, haven't been in the room, you'd like to try it out, you can do so with a no obligation 1-week trial. Use the promo code PreMarket24. It'll get you a discount off the intro membership, which is a one-time payment, does not recur. And then if you'd like to become an elite annual member, use the promo code holidays60, not 50. You change it to 60, you'll get 60% off.
Nice. All right. Thank you, Noah. Appreciate that. All right, guys, let's get to our list here. We'll do some levels and we'll see what else comes up. And if you guys have something that's doing something good there, throw it back out to me. We'll have time to look at it as we move forward here. So Baba right now continues to make a new low in the pre-market, 85.40. So I like the way this is going right now. Hopefully it does not sell down too hard and we are able to take advantage of this, but this level that we're losing here is pretty nice at the moment. So hopefully that can stick around there. As far as levels we have towards the top, I mean, we have plenty, guys. Highs and lows for the last 2 trading days is doing a really good job there. I'm going to mark down the low of the pre-market here. Actually, I'm going to mark down this area, 85.58. Because if you look at 85.58, you did have a couple of candles here trying to hold that. Let's see what the new low looks like. Let's see if that's going to continue, and then we'll come back and mark the new low. But below that, we do have a level at 84. This is a minor area support. As you can see here, you know, the big one, obviously you want to have a lot more touches on, and then towards the bottom, 82 to 32. So plenty of stuff happening there. Let's see where this low of the pre-market goes and how it continues there. What I like about Bob, and I mentioned before yesterday as well, the many times it has gapped up. Look at the sell down that it has had, right? Some pretty nice days towards the bottom, including this big one here on this was on Thursday, I believe. So let's see what takes place today. And here is Netflix. Again, Netflix not getting some great news about subscribers, not as much as they thought it was going to be, or they lost some. But again, just negative news on the number of subscribers for them as they're reporting here. And then we are down 2.7 on this thing, 151,000 shares traded. So low of the pre-market, 277.09. You see a lot of touches happening around there. You got a little bit of support here. You got some resistance here. You got a couple of days slamming against this here and here. So again, an area where you are going to see some stuff happening, and we're seeing a little bit of a bounce off that 277.09 at the moment. Below that, guys, on our daily, we do have a level at 265.61, and all the way down here at 253.57. The key on Netflix is we need the volume, right? This ticker usually does not trade heavy volume, but if we can get above 25 million, 20 million, that can be pretty good for us here. But for the most part, they're very, very light, guys. I mean, 9 million, even lower is their usual average trading volume. So we just need to get to those double digits, I think, and we'll be doing all right. Here is Amazon. Towards the top, guys. Plenty of stuff going on there. Highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. Pretty much doing what the overall market is doing, right? So nothing independent happening here. But although that is the catalyst for Amazon, it has been trading very well, and it's been a good one to follow if the market's going to trend in one direction. 85.48 high of the pre-market, and then the low of the pre-market 84.39. Towards the top, you have plenty based on the drop we've been getting lately. And are we creating a new 52-week low? We might be. This price on Amazon is really, really down there. This is a big drop. Let's go back here. What are we looking at? We haven't been down here, guys, since 2019. Is that correct? Yeah. Yep, 2019, early 2019. So again, it's been a while. This is definitely shows you how things are going here. Not a good sign when you got these big guys, Apple, Amazon, selling down like this. I'm gonna pick off a level here, 83.60 on the daily. You could pick that one off. You got another big one also at 81. I don't think we'll get to 81, but if we have anything like we've been having the last couple of days, I would not be shocked if 81 is something that we're hitting today. But I think that would be a stretch given how much we have sold off the last couple of days. I think we might get either a small bounce or some sideways action. I will be surprised if we get a drop here, actually down to 81. That's Amazon, guys. We're set around with some good levels here. Let's look at West Fargo. So West Fargo started moving here, and they're getting some fines. They're always into something. These are the guys that are always creating, fake accounts or pushing people to create accounts that they don't need just so they can show better numbers. They've been hit with that many times in the past. 40.09 is the low of the pre-market. Not saying that's the case now, but they're always into some kind of a shady situation. 40.09, and at least not them. I mean, every bank does their shady stuff, but these guys always get caught. These guys are always getting caught. That's the problem. That's the difference with them. 39.35, guys, low here, below the low of the pre-market, and in between here you might have 39.76. Yeah, we'll slam a level there, 39.76. So West Fargo is a horrendous company. It could be. I mean, again, guys, if I don't think there's shady stuff out there with a lot of companies. It's just whether you get caught or not, right? Not every company, but these guys are always into something. So we'll see how this plays out. Getting a little bit of a bounce now here. Volume is coming in, definitely in play this morning. Still a bank stock, right? Ticker. So they tend not to trade very well, but this news can hopefully drive some kind of activity that we can take advantage of. But if it was any other day where we had a bigger list or a nicer list, this would be on my secondary list because, again, they just don't trade very well. All right, let's take a look. That's what we have, guys. That's our list right there. I have some possibles here too. I have Lucid, which has 1 million shares traded with some funding happening for them or raising money or capital for them today. So that's good news. And then we have Meta here, which again, I like the daily on Meta, guys. Let's do some levels for Meta, actually. I really like the daily here. Towards the top, you got plenty. I'm just going to add the high of the pre-market just to have that there at 115. Yeah, didn't we have Tesla? We'll come back to that. Thanks, Jacob. Yeah, Tesla should be on here. I thought I had it. And then Meta, low of the pre-market all the way down at 113. So we'll slam a level there. You see a couple of touches on there as well. And then towards the bottom, we got the big level of support at 109. And then in between here, there's some stuff happening at 111.49. So you got plenty of days there, slamming into that level, closing, opening around that area. So that's a good one as well. But I like the fact that we're losing this here. We're slightly below this morning. If we continue to see any weakness, maybe some of these levels could be really good for us today on Meta if we get the volume and direction. So let's take a look at Tesla. That's actually meant to be on my list. 2.5 already, down 2%. Man, look at the drop on Tesla. Wow. And is that SPY driven? I want to see, is that SPY driven or not? That is not SPY driven, guys. I mean, this could be. The SPY is dropping slightly, but it just seems very aggressive on Tesla, though, man. Yeah, I don't know if it's SPY driven. This is Tesla driven. Um, these these cars are driving into a wall right now, man. Not good. So down there, it looks like they're going to be testing their low of yesterday as they're moving down here. So I'm not going to mark down the low of the pre-market just yet. Let's see if they get over to that 145.80. Has any news come out, guys? Did something happen? This drop seems rather aggressive. What is Elon doing? High of the pre-market 151.55. Then above that, you got the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. And let's see where this action takes us now. Look at the ramp in volume at the moment. Yeah, this is in play for sure. Yeah, what is Tesla oversold? That's what happens when Elon next. Oh, and yeah, did he assign somebody? I mean, I know he been sticking to his polls, right? So he's gonna assign a CEO. I think that's the plan. Yeah, I think everything might be oversold to some point. The thing here is though, you got to be careful, right? Thinking that it's oversold because we're in some serious weakness overall, not just on this individual ticker, but also in the market. You just be careful timing the bounce, right? That's the thing that will get you. If you try to time a bounce on something like this, and you're not quickly out of a trade if it's not working out. You don't want to be stuck in something that just doesn't come back by the time frame, right? It's all about time frame. You know, in what time frame are you looking to see this bounce? And if you're day trading, it's got to be a very short and quick time frame. If you're not getting your play, definitely get out of the trade and look for other opportunities. Very, very important. You got to find your 3D glass. Yeah, put your 3D glasses, and you might have some effect of all the stuff I got going on here. So yeah. All right, guys. Anything else you like this morning? 9:04 right now, and Tesla's just taking all of our attention at the moment, rightfully so. I mean, it is just a bloodbath. I should have just wore green today, put more green lights instead of red this morning for the trying to get the Christmas rally going. It's not working. West Fargo on deck here. We have Amazon as well, which again was great yesterday. Netflix also looking pretty interesting here. Not great right now. Interesting at least. Losing some ground on some negative news. And then Baba also selling down. Let's see if we can get to this 84.27. This one has been a really good one, guys, the last couple of days. So I traded a few times already in the last couple of days, and it has been very, very clean. Yesterday as well, you can see how beautiful this drop was there. And it's one of the better Chinese tickers. It's been better even than Neo. I don't even have Neo on my list, do I? No, I do not. Look at the drop we're getting on Neo as well. So Neo could be interesting. We'll add this to a secondary as well. There's Neo getting the volume down 4% now, getting back under $10. So man, oh man. If you guys remember, under $10, this stock did horrible here. It was just it did well for a couple of weeks here, a couple of month or two. Did very, very well. Started going around here when they had this huge drop. Every day in here was nice. You got an increase in volume, great pre-market activity. And then when it got into the zone here, it was just not tradable at all. Broke out of that, had a couple of days that were good, and we'll see what today brings. Looks like it wants to get going here. And Andrew stable for 2 years ago. Yeah, and Neo was 2 years ago was like our AMD now, or more like our Tesla now, right? It was really in play. Speaking of AMD, let's take a look what's happening with our semiconductors, and AMD's not doing anything, pretty much dead here. Nvidia, same, very, very quiet. They're selling down just because the overall market pressure. But as far as pre-market activity, these guys are not doing anything that's worth having them on the list right now. Apple might be a good one, guys. Again, really insane drops here. I think this would be a good one to have on deck as well. And I think that's going to complete my list, guys. Let's do Apple levels here, and then we'll call it as far as the building our watch list. Low of the pre-market at the moment. We got this nice big drop all the way down to 130. 130.06. Is that being recorded there? 130.06. Yeah, 130.59 actually. 130.59 was slamming level there. And then towards the bottom of this, we haven't been down here in quite some time as well. Going back to June timeframe, where a lot of techs were getting just hit here. 129.07 is a good one there as well for Apple. So that is your list there, guys. I think you're pretty much set when it comes to our list this morning. Chris MC says, looks like a brutal morning. Yeah, it's not starting. It's not too bad though. I think yesterday's watch list looked worse, and we had a great day. So today's not as bad as it was yesterday. Yesterday was really, really rough. Today you got some stuff that is somewhat doing something. You got Tesla here getting very extended. And we'll just wait to see what the market brings, right? Neo pushing down lower, and Meta looks like it wants to lose some of these levels we have here. Retest at 113 low of the pre-market. So I think we got a good, decent pre-market. Now, Chris, I'm with you. Compared to, again, you can't compare this to November. You can't compare this to October. I mean, those days. I mean, and I say those days like it was 2 years ago. It was really good. The market was really good in October, really good in November. And I say whether bullish or bearish, I'm talking about just overall volume and intraday trading and continuations we were getting were really, really nice. Okay, what we have here. I keep every time I look over here, I see this ad, and it catches my attention. Like, what are you doing? This is ad here on my browser that keeps distracting me. So I'm gonna move that. All right, let's see, guys. Over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so. Sitting at 111 likes. Let's get that up to 200 if we can. That would be amazing if you could help us do that. It does help out the channel a whole lot, so we thank you. We appreciate that quite a bit. This is the type of morning I will probably use the play of capital retention, put my head back on the pillow. Very nice, very nice. Yes. Identifying what type of market you're in, guys, as day traders is very important, because we want to trade, want to be aggressive as far as taking trades, and want to be available of what the market gives us on days where things are not working for you, right? Because it's different for everyone depending on your trading style. Like sometimes I'll say, oh man, this is a horrible daily in pre-market, and someone might like that pre-market activity in that daily for what they're looking to trade, right? So to each his own. But yeah, on days that's not working for you, man, it's better to think about how can I protect the capital and not let the dollars go, right? So very important. Carlos, how does the week trade historically? How does this week trade? So I can't recall if it's the week before Christmas or after Christmas, but the Christmas rally, usually you have great trading, and mostly is bullish, right? And it's not bearish. Mostly it's bullish, and you have good continuation, and you have some really good moves, and we're used to seeing that. But this, we're in a different market condition, right? We're in there's a lot of economic issues, right? The economy is not well, so this is a very different market condition than it was, 2 years ago, a year before that, right? So very, very different. We might not get it this year. And actually, I think Peter was the one that mentioned that he went back and looked at some stuff. And when the market's in the condition that it is now, and again, don't quote me, is that you usually do not get a Santa Claus rally. So we will see. It's still early, only the 20th. That's why I got my colors out. I got everything out to see if we can help the rally get going. I got the reindeer here next to me. So we'll see what takes place. Guys, don't leave me alone on this. Get your colors, get your stuff out, and send me pictures. Tag me on Twitter, Carlos M BBT. I want to see. I'll put my pictures up as well. Send me your pictures of your setup with your Christmas stuff on there. Let's see if we can get this going. Carlos is calling on the magic of Christmas to turn the economy around. Absolutely. But no, I'm not superstitious at all. But just in case this is what it takes, let's make it happen. All right, guys, 9:12. Wait for our moderators to throw their lists out. Right now, at the moment, we have IPOs for today. We have two, Lipo, IPO, and then we have ATMVU. It's a SPAC. That might be a Peter, when it is a SPAC, is a SPAC opening today, or is a SPAC being assigned? The SPACs are a little bit different, I believe. the SPACs, or is opening, right? ATMVU. All right, so that's opening today. So SPACs can actually open as well. Okay. And then we have lipo, which is this is like lipo, the plastic surgery, or this is something different? Lipo. I mean, if you're gonna name your ticker, you know, I would suspect that is what it is. Okay, what else we have here? Bitcoin. How's Bitcoin doing? Let me make sure I don't mess this up. Hashtag BTC. Nope, I did that wrong. TC. Here we go. Man, this thing has taken such a hit here, guys. So it is crazy. I didn't think they were going to go under 20,000, but man, they got slammed. So yeah, not doing a whole lot right now. Just kind of moving sideways a little bit here. 5-letter tickers, never trade those. Yeah, I agree. Never trade 5-letter tickers. If it's more than, more than 4, be questionable about it. Do we have anything that more than 4 that is actually that trades good? I don't think we have, right? Everything's like the cap is 4. And then you have, your 1s and your 2s and your 3s, of course. But yeah, I don't think we have anything that's 5 and that trades well. At least I don't recall. Oh, well, yeah, that's a great example. Google trades horrible, right? There we go. This is one that trades horrible. That's why, because there are too many letters in here. So it happens. So at least for me, I'm not a fan of the way Google trades. All right, 9:14, guys. We'll wait for our moderators to throw their lists out, and then we will read those out to you. See what our team is watching today, and what else? I think we're pretty much set, guys. Our list right now. Quick recap: Baba on Netflix. Baba continues to drop here. Nice. We're creating new lows at the moment. This is looking very, very good. I think we'll get to 84.27 probably before the market open. Let's see the way this is dropping. Netflix is on here. We have Amazon. We have WFC, which again, I don't think, you know what? I'm going to move WFC down. I know they have the news, negative stuff happening. I just don't think they're going to be a great trader. I'm going to move these guys down. Let's Amazon, Tesla, man. Wow. And now Merry Christmas. Tesla down here is yeah, this is crazy. Crazy. But hopefully we enjoy some of that. Apple as well on deck. We got our levels set. Let's see where things are going this morning. Would you say a bear or bull day today, or just a retracement? Man, look at the couple of days we had here on Apple, back to back red days. I think we're gonna get some kind of retracement. Maybe we'll get a little sell off at the market open, and we got to get some kind of a retracement pullback here. I don't think you're just going to have a all out sell off again. Again, just my opinion. Market tends to take a break when you have red day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Another red day. I don't see it. I don't see it. Who's buying? Nobody. We're covering. Kiwi Kev is asking, who's buying here? Nobody's buying. Everybody's covering. Everybody's short. They're covering, going to push the price up. You know who's buying? The people that lend us the shares to short. They have to buy no matter what. So they're buying. The market makers. They have no choice. They got to buy. You, on the other hand, you don't have to. The great thing about being a day trader, you buy when you feel like it. There's some people that got to buy you if they don't like it. Sorry. All right, let's see here. Guys, let's look at our moderators list, and then we have Brian coming up. We have Andrew trading live this morning. Let's see how we put this list over here. Here we go. Okay, perfect. All right, this morning, guys, we have it's just Peter with his list: AMD, Netflix, Tesla. Secondary list: Apple, Amazon, and Lucid. I'll wait for Brian to throw out his list. And that is my signal that he's ready to go. We'll hand it over to him here. So turnaround Tuesday, maybe turnaround Tuesday today. That'll be fun. It'll be fun to get a nice little rally going northeast here. Don't forget about Eamon's list. Where's Eamon? Oh, Eamon, yeah, potential short. Sorry, Eamon. Potential short today. CHPT. That's charge point, I believe, and risky. So he's advising you be very careful on this one. Yeah, missed Eamon there. So that's Eamon's list up top. So, guys, remember, Eamon has his new course out on Trading Terminal Academy. So head over there. show you what that looks like while I wait for Brian. So go to Trading Terminal, and if you come in here, you can see our Trading Academy, and you'll be able to take his very famous popular course that has done very well for a lot of his mentees, and also head over to here Academy, and you are able to take this this course. You don't have to be a member of the community, but if you go here to courses, you can see all the courses that are available to you. This course, guys, has done very, very well. This strategy is incredible. So here it is. It's the blueprint to extreme reversals, guys. I mean, you've seen Eamon's trades. He had what, a 13-hour day yesterday on this thing with that strategy. So yeah, check it out. Trading Terminal, guys, Trading Academy. You can get that course on there. With that said, okay, here we have Megan coming in with her list. So she is looking at Amazon and Google this morning. And if I don't have any more moderators, we'll call it here, guys. Over on YouTube, guys, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it very, very much. Megan, did you pick Google just because Carlos was talking it down? Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Good job, Megan. But yeah, and watch it trade very well today. Watch her crush it on it, because she's amazing like that. All right, here's Brian, guys. His list: Meta, Tesla so far. So he's putting some stuff together there, and we'll continue to post those as he finds what he likes this morning. So guys, trade safe over on YouTube. Thank you so much for the 182 likes, almost 200, but that's okay. We'll take 182. You know, we can't be picky on what we get on this not so fun type market that we're seeing here as far as the Christmas rally. So take care, trade safe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 a.m. engineering the markets, and then 8:30 with Norm and I as we dissect this list and see how our stuff traded today. Have a great one, guys. See ya.